Hello my friends, I'm really excited today because we have a new OPPO phone. This phone has been basically released a couple of months ago. It's the OPPO Reno 7 5G and I've been using it. I want to tell you all about my experiences. Like always, we are going to talk about the phone itself, the camera array, and all of its features. So the first thing I want to do is just do a quick unboxing and just show you guys everything that you get in the box. The interesting thing over here, guys, is that you get everything. I'm not kidding you. You get the AC plug, which is a quick charge or a fast charger. It's a 65 watts charger. You get the phone itself, obviously. We are going to look at it in a moment. And you get this USB-C to USB-A cable, which is really important if you are planning on using this phone. Another thing that you're going to get are these bunch of papers, which don't really mean much, and this cover, which is amazing because you also get the cover and you also get the screen protector on the phone itself. So it's basically scratch proof. You're going to scratch the screen protector and not the phone if anything happens. That's about everything that you're going to get in this box. I want to move on and talk about the actual specs and the camera array. So going through the specs first, the first thing I want to talk about is the display. It's an AMOLED display, 90 Hz, has support for HDR10+, and it gets to a peak brightness of 800 nits. I really loved using this phone. The display is just amazing. The resolution on it is a 1080p Full HD resolution, but I actually find it kind of surprising that it uses the Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and not the latest Victus. So the second thing that's most important for me when actually reviewing a phone is its camera array, and I'm going to talk about each camera right now that you will find in this phone and actually show you some images and videos that I took while using this camera. The first camera is a 64 megapixel f1.7, which is amazing, 26mm equivalent lens or wide lens, and the sensor size is 1-2 inch with face detect autofocus. I really loved using this camera. I got some really cool photos. You will get some blurry backgrounds if you use it up close with some objects, but that's not the best and biggest sensor you will find, as OPPO actually has some flagship phones that have better sensors than what you get on this phone. This is a mid-range after all. The ultra-wide camera is an 8 megapixel camera with an f-stop of 2.2. It has a wide angle of 119 degrees, so you'll get a lot of details like in this photo. You also get a macro photography here on the backside. It's a 2 megapixel f2.4, which basically means that it's not really usable at night. The selfie camera here is a 32 megapixel f2.4 24mm equivalent wide angle camera. Doesn't have the biggest sensor, but you can see some of the samples right now. So it's kind of a basic camera array, but I really enjoyed using it. You get all the camera you really need, and the zoom you can still do it digitally because this is a high megapixel camera. Other than cameras, another big factor for me is its processing power and the CPU on this phone. And I actually got some good results with the MediaTek Dimensity 900 5G CPU that's on this phone. The Geekbench results were great with a single core score of 704 and a multi-core score of 2148. This means that we can basically use this phone on all of the latest games and run apps without any problems on it. It is running ColorOS 12, so you get the recent Android with it, which is Android 12, and everything works really fast and great. But the big thing for me with OPPO has always been that they actually give you what other companies don't. For example, this quick charger, 65 watts, you get it for free in the box. The cover, which I actually talked about. And on the phone itself, you get the headphone jack, which is something that all other companies actually removed already, or most of the other companies. And even when you talk about the SIM card tray, you can see that you can still install over there an SD card. So you actually get expandable storage on this, even though this has 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage on it. You can still expand that with an SD card. So you kind of get everything. I mean, this even has a fingerprint reader on screen, optical one. So I don't know what it's missing. I guess it doesn't miss much. I mean, you kind of have it all. That's the biggest thing with these OPPO devices, and the price range on it is not that high anyway. I'm going to put links and more information in the video description down below if you want to see the current pricing. So two things I want to talk about that most reviewers are not going to talk about when they actually review a phone. And the first thing is going to be the screen size, because it's not specific to this OPPO model. This screen size is just amazing. If you usually just want to manage your phone with one hand, you are really going to like the OPPO Reno 7. The 6.4 is not large enough or large too much, like the 6.7. And sorry for my English if I am butchering the language. That's because actually doing this phone in multiple, doing this review in multiple languages, and English is not my primary one. But I am doing my best, and you are more than invited to actually stay with me. If you wanna watch my future reviews, you can click on the red subscribe button down below, by the way. So I just talked about the fact that this has the perfect size. I mean, from what I've tested, it's not too small like the 6.2 or 6.3. It's a 6.4 and it's not a 6.7. So if you haven't tried this size, you really want to do that, because I think it's just perfect for people who like using phones with one hand. The second thing that most reviewers will not talk about is actually the weight of the phone. This is 173 grams. That means that you can actually hold this for a while and not get tired. I mean, your hand is not gonna get tired. Like most of the phone these days, the large screen ones are gonna be 225 grams and more. That means basically you're gonna not be able to actually watch a lot of Netflix on it or whatever you're watching on the phone without having some kind of burden on your hand. So that's it, guys. That's the OPPO Reno 7. It's the newest, and I think it's kind of good phone. It's an all-arounder, and it's not too expensive. You get what you pay for. I mean, you get kind of bit from everything in terms of features, and I'm gonna put some links in the video description down below. I really recommend it from what I have been using it as of now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I'll see you on my next review. That's the button over here if you want to see on if you want to stick on this channel. I'm gonna put 2 video reviews over here for you to watch. I actually reviewed Oppo's folding phone, the Oppo Find N. You can watch it over here, the newest review I've done for the other phone, another review for another phone over here, and another one over here. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on my next video review. Bye bye.